I know I'm not the only mom who likes to hide away. Hey, it's Ereena George, and welcome to my closet, aka Mommy's Closet. Come on in. It's a place for us to get away and discuss the things moms love to talk about, whether it's health, relationships, these kids, our spouses. This is where we come to talk our shit. Be sure to join my Facebook group, Be Momific with Ereena George. It's where we can continue the conversation outside of this podcast so that I can hear what you think and how you feel on the topic. When is it time to move on? Hey, welcome to the show. It's Ereena George here, and I am super excited that you decided to join me today. Another heavy topic, guys. Another heavy topic. When is it time for us as moms to decide to move away from the relationships that we are in? When I say relationships, that can be you and your boyfriend, you and your fiance, you and your husband, or just you and your live in mate. When do we know that shit has fallen apart or the relationship that we are in is no longer healthy or no longer wanted, right? When do we know that? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And so I just said something like no, when do we know the relationship is no longer wanted? How do we get to that in our minds? So for me, and not just my personal experience, I think for women in general, we never want to say that we want to break up a happy home or break up our relationship with the parent, with the other parent of our children. It is so hard to leave. They can be an asshole, they can be a bum, not working, not doing shit, staying at home all day, smoking blunts, playing video games, all that bum shit, right? They can be doing all of that. However, the sheer fact that they're in the home when we get home, or they're in the home when the children get home, or they pick up the kids from school, or they pick up the kids from soccer and shit like that, that will cause us to stay in relationships that we know are no longer needed. The fear of just being alone, the fear of having to put everything on our shoulders, although we're already doing that, right? So if you really, really think about it, finances are super stressful. And let's just talk about this for a minute. I'm veering off, but I always do this shit. Y'all already know that. Finances are super stressful. If you are the breadwinner in your home, you're the only person working in your home, you have three kids, you're getting up, you're going to work every single day, you have your spouse in the home, he's not working. Let's say he got laid off, right? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he got laid off. Now, I'm not male bashing. There are men that work out here, they bust their ass to take care of their families and their kids, and I get that. But we're not talking about y'all motherfuckers today. We're talking about the ones who are at home, the ones who are not doing anything, right? So back to the finances. You wake up every day, you go to work, you are the breadwinner. Not only are you the breadwinner, but you're also the mom. So although you may have someone there helping you with the children, children gravitate to their mom. At least historically, children gravitate to their mom. So you're working, you're dealing with the kids when you're home, you're helping with homework, you're making sure that they take their baths, they brush their teeth, you're consoling them if anything's going on, you're going to parent teacher meetings, in conferences, and you're doing everything that you need to do for your child. And the spouse, the person that you live in the home with, is just there. When you ask them to do something, they won't do it. If you have to go to the school to meet with the teacher, they don't want to go. They're not supporting you at all. You know that you need to get out of the relationship. That is a situation that you know you need to get out of, but you refuse to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't know how to do it because you would so much rather be unhappy in your home than your children go without having a father. Unhappy in your home than being called a single mom. Not being looked at as a woman who birthed children with a man and the relationship did not work out. That's not how women are viewed in society when they're single and they have children. You are viewed as an ex wife or you are viewed as a baby mother. And I'll give you the correct lingo for it, the mother of his child. That's how you are viewed. And many women do not want to be viewed that way. Shit, I don't want to be viewed that way. But I tell you what, one thing that I have learned, I would say in the last 5 years in my marriage, is that I will not stay in my marriage for my children to have a mother and a father in the home, because I refuse to be unhappy. Because guess what? I'm still human. And because I'm still human and I still need love and I still need respect and I still need to be touched, needed, and wanted, I'm not going to stay in a relationship where I don't have those things. And I don't think any woman should, regardless of how many children you have. There is always a way to make a way out of no way. Always. What we don't want is to be looked at in a negative view by society. We don't want that. But we know it's time to go. If you are in and have been in an abusive relationship, and that abuse started very lightly with you, behind closed doors, not in front of people, and no one knew about it. And now you have kids in the relationship, and not only now is the abuse happening to you, but it's happening to your children. You know it's time to go. It's time for you to move on. It was time for you to move on when the abuse was happening to you, but because you did not have the strength to remove yourself from that unhealthy relationship, now you have to make that move for your children. Sometimes we don't think enough of ourselves to move when the universe is saying, get the fuck out. Sometimes we don't have that strength. So the universe will do something else. And when I say the universe, that is what I live by. When I say the universe, it can be your God, it can be Jehovah, it can be Jesus, whomever you look to, whomever you listen to, whatever guides you. When you do not listen to what guides you, I always say, there's a little knock at the door. And when you don't answer that door, there's a bang at the door. And so if you know that you didn't listen to that knock and you stayed in that abusive relationship, and now that knock has turned into a bang because now your child is being abused, you know that it's time for you to go. And when it's time for you to go and you're in an abusive relationship, you need to devise a plan. You need to enlist people to help you, because you don't want to be in a situation where you try to leave, and because it failed, you had to go back. I just read a story about a young lady, and this hurt my heart. Just read a story about a young lady who had been in an abusive relationship since she was 18 years old. She kept going back to this guy, kept going back to him, kept going back to him, although he had been abusive. She recently left him and went across country away from him, decided to give him one more chance, so she came back. This man, when she came back, continued to abuse her and ultimately killed her, leaving her daughter, her 7-year-old daughter, without a mom and without a dad. So we don't want to hear those stories. Those stories hurt because there is help out here. There is help out here for women and men who are in abusive relationships, and you need to get out. But it's not so much so of the help. What it is are you in the right mindset to leave if you are in an abusive relationship? Many women are not, because many women are in abusive relationships because they grew up with trauma, childhood trauma that they are still carrying. So, abuse in a relationship can look like love to some women. Some women don't view it as abuse. They view it as, this is what's being done because he is so in love with me. If you've ever thought that about your spouse and your spouse hurts you verbally or physically, you know that it is time to go. Pack your things. This is like motherfucking Project One Way. Pack your things. It is time for you to go. And if it's not time for you to go, then pack his shit, because it's time for him to go. Because the most important thing that you should be focusing on is the safety of your children and the safety of yourself, and not just yourself physically, but your heart, your mind, and your spirit. That is what you should be focused on. So those are two scenarios where you know when it's time to go. You may not want to go, but you know that you need to go. Now, how about when this scenario is positive? You're in a relationship with someone, you've been in a relationship, both of you are successful, and you have grown beyond your spouse. You have done things to improve your life, your well being, maybe your career. You went back to school and received another degree. You've started your own business. It's really doing good, and you're focusing on your business and growing that. And you have a spouse who is okay where he is. He supports you, but he's not doing anything to change who he was when you met him 20 years ago. Now, see, this is a difficult spot to be in because you may have a spouse and people around you. Now, people will say, this is what makes it difficult. You change yourself, you change your life, you upgraded yourself, you went back to school, you got you another degree, or you started your business. And then the first thing that people want to say is, oh, now you think you're too good. Now you think you're too good. Well, first of all, yes, I do, right? First of all. And second of all, what did you expect me to do? Did you not expect me to grow? Did you not expect me to improve? It's so funny when people say shit like, oh, look at you. You think you too good. You think you too good for me now. Well, shit. If I've known you for 25 years and for the last 25 years you've been doing the same shit and I've done elevated and bumped up and bumped up and bumped up, no, I'm not saying that I'm too good, but I'm saying, goddamn, I grew and you didn't. And I've outgrown you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But some people make you feel like it's something wrong with that. And guess what? We outgrow our spouses. We outgrow our relationships. Imagine that shit, right? Imagine if you were 40 and you've been with your spouse since you guys were 19 or 20, and your spouse has not done anything to level up, and you have. Are you and your spouse now in the same playing field? Are you and your spouse now are you meshing? Are you the same? You're not. And I believe in the law of attraction, right? So we attract who we are and we meet people who we are in the moment of who we are. So if I'm 20 years old and I'm immature and I work, say, at the mall and I have me a cool mall job, but behind closed doors, I'm going to school, I'm trying to get my degrees and things of that nature, and I have a very entrepreneurial mind and I plan on growing an empire, and I just happen to be in a relationship with someone that I like or maybe even love, and we're 19 or 20 and we've been together for years and we decide to get married and I'm still pushing and moving forward and doing the shit that I want to do for my life and my business and our family, and that person is the same 19 or 20-year-old that I married after 20 years, we're two different people. And should I continue to live with this person and be in a relationship with this person who has not grown and who has refused to grow? Especially if I'm supportive, right? Especially if you're supportive. If you are supportive of your spouse and you're supportive of your spouse's growth, and you try to have your spouse do different things in order to grow themselves and kind of spread themselves out a bit more so that they can be successful, so that you guys can do things together and be on the same page and have the same conversations and maybe share in some of the same friends. If you've tried to do this and that person refuses to bend and that person refuses to grow, refuses to do anything to improve themselves, how is that relationship happy? This is the most difficult one. How is that relationship happy? He's not a bad person. You're not a bad person. You two just no longer vibe. The fucking vibe is not there. Yes, you're friends, but you can't go out to an event and bring your husband because he's not into that shit, right? He doesn't want to meet your business partners. He doesn't want to meet the people that you hang out with. He doesn't want to go to the events that you go to. He wants to go to work. He wants to come home, sit in the house, crack open a beer, have a glass of wine or some brandy and sit and watch TV. and have no other interaction with human beings. Yet you are productive, you're a go-getter, you're always at meetup events, you're always at, women's empowerment events, you're always at social events, business events, but they're not. And again, they're supportive of you. But when you need them to support you in a way that says, hey, I need you to be by my side. I need you to be there with me when I'm doing this. I need that kind of support. And they're unable to give that to you. Do you stay or do you move on? Me, I move on. And I'm honest. I'm like, ladies, I have to be honest. I think if I've been with someone for 20 years and that person has not grown at all, and when we have conversations, it's like I'm speaking another language because we're not even in the same fucking book anymore. Why would I continue to be with someone that I no longer mesh with? It's fucked up. I know it's fucked up because guess what? We love them, right? We love them, but we just don't connect anymore. And let's be honest. When you cannot connect with someone on a friendship level, like you guys used to be really good friends because you were into the same things, right? So that has dwindled down. You're still friends, but you're not into the same things anymore. When you can have conversations because both of you are on two different levels, so the conversations are no longer there. The friendships are different. The atmosphere is different. If the only thing that you share and can be kind of in agreement with someone is sex, then that's just sex. And to be quite honest with you, everything outside of sex, all of the shit that I just mentioned, for women at least, when all those things start dwindling away, we don't even want to sleep with you no more. No, like we don't even want to have sex with you anymore. So, is it time for us to move on? Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the show. For more information about myself, Ereena George, or the Momific Group, be sure to check us out on our website, www.momific.life. That's momific.life. You can also like us on Facebook at the Momific Group. See you next time.